Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here with a Tip Tuesday for you. On Tuesdays, maybe not every Tuesday, but as many Tuesdays as I can, I would like to bring you a tip, whether it's a super short tip or a longer tip, but something that's going to help you with your wig wearing journey. The focus of my Tip Tuesday videos are to make your wig wearing journey easier, more joyful, and to give you some ideas for how to really embrace the new life that you're embarking on by wearing wigs. Even if you aren't wearing wigs full time, I think you can benefit from these Tip Tuesday videos. My focus is not on giving you wig reviews or really presenting a wig in its best light. So when you watch these Tip Tuesdays, please keep in mind that I may not have all my best lighting set up for these videos because they're meant to be quick for me as well, and not as much of a production. When I do wig reviews, I have a lot of light on me. It's difficult in my little bathroom to get all that light in here. So when I just feel like I need to give you this disclaimer because you're going to be looking at the wig that I'm talking about. I don't want you necessarily judging the color based on a Tip Tuesday. I just am not focused on that in these videos. So hopefully you understand what I'm getting at. All right, so today's Tip Tuesday is about how to make a wig look a little bit more realistic around the sides, around right over in this area. And so we're gonna be talking about things that I do to help with that. The wig I have on is Estetica Orchid in the color, oh geez, I forgot, hold on. It's one of those with a lot of numbers. In the color RT330 RT4. So RT330 RT4. I have a review of this particular orchid on my channel, so you can go check out that review. I have actually trimmed the length on this orchid a little bit and might be trimming her a little bit more. So this one is not as long as she comes. So keep that in mind as you're watching this video. So let me talk about how I came to decide to do this video for you guys today. And some of my Tip Tuesdays may be a little bit repetitive, and that is by design. I think we need to see things multiple times to really, kind of take it in, embrace it, remember it, and all of those things. And so I also think with the wig journey, that is especially true when it comes to making wigs your own. I don't think it just kind of clicks the first few times you see someone tell you about these things that you can do to wigs. So I think it is helpful to be repetitive and to show you whenever I'm kind of going through a metamorphosis with a wig. If I have time to show you what I'm doing before I do it, I just can't imagine that it's not helpful. You can always skip a video if you don't care about the content of it. So I have shown you how to do certain things to a wig to make it your own using one of these razor combs. I love this razor comb. Actually, I'm wondering if it's getting to be time when I need to actually change the razor in here. I haven't done that yet, but it comes with extra razors and, they'll dull over time. But I digress. So what I am going to do in this video is I am going to create some little baby hairs in the side here. And the reason I feel the need to do that is because I don't have any bio hair to blend on the sides. That is one of the trade-offs you make when you buzz your hair. I know a lot of wig sisters will take their own hair here and they'll pull it out and then they'll blend it in with their wig. And that, I actually used to do that before I buzzed my hair, and it was one of the things that kept me from buzzing my hair in the beginning was my thought that I really needed that hair for blending. I have found since I buzzed my hair, I don't miss that. Let me say that again. I miss it, but not often enough to have caused me to wish I didn't buzz my hair. There are times when I wish I had bio hair to blend because I just don't think it looks quite as natural as it would. More often than not, though, I'm really grateful not to have my really thin, fine cotton candy hair to deal with. So if you're like me and you're struggling, either you've buzzed your hair and you missed this blending, or you're not sure if you should buzz because you do like to blend, here's something that might help you as you're looking to make your wigs more realistic. So I just actually was doing this with my Estetica Sage. So I just recently reviewed Sage, and I did a follow-up video where I show you how I made some modifications to Sage, where I cut the lace, I plucked the part line just to give it a little bit more realism. So if you have not seen those videos, please, they're just recent. They're within a couple of weeks of this video. And the one where I modify Sage is a Tip Tuesday. So you can go to my Tip Tuesday playlist and find that. And then I thought maybe I should show this to you guys. So I was trying to decide what wig I had because I'd already sort of done it to Sage, and I decided Orchid would be a good one. So when I put Orchid on, I see this really defined line right here, and you can see the shadow of where my hair is buzzed. To me, that does not look all that realistic. And so what I like to do then, and this is kind of a new thing for me too, I haven't done a whole lot of modifying to my wigs until very recently. I'm gonna grab another tool here, and I can think of where I have it. And the more comfortable I get with wearing wigs, and the more confident I get with making little modifications here and there, the more I find I want to do that, because most wigs aren't perfect for us out of the box. We're all such individual people, and for a wig manufacturer to be able to make a wig that's going to be absolutely perfect for everybody is an unrealistic expectation. You know, they've given us sort of the template to start with, and then it's up to us to figure out where to go from there. Oh, please let me be able to find what I'm looking for in here. I'm not having any luck. I'm going to pause this so you don't have to wait. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So what I was looking for was a spoolie. So the tools that I'm going to use are a rat tail comb, a spoolie, and my razor comb. I will link whatever I can in the description so that you will have something to go to if you'd like to purchase these, or at least to see, and then you can maybe go price shop and find it somewhere else. So I actually just saw, I want to give a shout out to a wig sister. I just saw Rachel from Rachel's Wig Reform, a video that she did where she cut some baby hairs into the side of her wig to make it look more realistic in an updo, and she used a spoolie. That's where I got this idea. So none of us are operating in a vacuum, and I'm doing research just like you guys, and so I love Rachel's YouTube channel. Please go check it out because she shares some of the most amazing things. She does work with every one of her wigs and does some sort of a customization to it, and most of them are really easy. So it's Rachel's Wig Reform. So what she did was she pulled her wig to the side, and then she started to pull out with this just some little baby hairs. Well, they're not baby hairs yet, but just little bits of hair, so that she didn't get huge clumps of hair that you might get if you use your finger or if you use like the rat tail comb. So I thought that was a brilliant idea. So she did that because she just wanted little wispy hairs coming down. She didn't want to do huge, giant amounts, which I thought was smart, smart, smart. Let me grab a claw clip here, you guys, so I can get the rest of this hair out of the way. My bathroom is getting hot. I'm starting to get sweaty. Whenever I do these videos, it's kind of a challenge. All right, so then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your little razor comb, and you're just gonna kind of, and you know, you can start longer and then make it shorter as you go. You know, you don't want to go too short in the beginning, but you just sort of scrape at the hair, and it sort of scissors at it or saws at it, and then that's how you get little baby hairs as opposed to a blunt cut, which isn't going to look super natural. So that's what you do, and you just kind of go along, and however much you want to do, and you just go along and you do that. And I'm starting, like I said, I'm starting long because I'm not sure how short I want this. You know, so I do a little bit of it, and then I pull it down and I blend it back in so I can see. And right away, when I go to pull this to the side, now these little wispy hairs are laying a little bit more forward than they were. And unfortunately, I didn't think to take a picture of this, so I'm not going to have a before and after picture like I do in some of these. but I think you're getting the gist of what I'm trying to show you guys here. So I might do just this for like right now, because actually I think that looks a lot better just like that. And then I'll wear her, and if I don't think that's enough, then I'll come back and I'll do more. Most of the time when you do customizations to your wigs, it is a work in progress. It is not a one and done. You're gonna do a little bit of something and then you're gonna see what you think of it. Because we can't undo what we've done. We don't want to get too zealous. And trust me, I have been known to get too zealous and then I regretted what I did. So I've really learned to slow down when I go and do anything to a wig. And I just tell myself, I've got time. This isn't a marathon, and so, or a sprint, it's a marathon. And so I want to encourage you to try some things. Start easy, maybe start with plucking. I think Orchid doesn't have a mono part, just a lace front. So there is really no plucking to do with her, but maybe start with making the part line look more realistic. This, I think, is a great sort of between a beginner and intermediate step. Maybe for a beginner, it's a little too scary to cut some fibers, but it's definitely not difficult or doesn't take a lot of skill, especially with one of these. These are just, to me, like an absolute must-have for a wig wearer, is some sort of a little razor comb along with a thinning shears and a regular straight scissors. But I would say before you get any of the other two, get one of these. They're just the easiest. Another thing I've done with these, so the last time I was messing around with Orchid, I cut some length off her, and then I didn't wear her and I got busy. And when I put her on just now and I did this side was way longer than this side. And instead of taking a scissors to make that side shorter, I actually just used this. And I took, one of the pieces that I thought was too long. So let's look at this right now and see if there's anything that I can demonstrate with. It's looking pretty good, but let me just do this here. So I just took a little bit of the bottom, and then I took my razor comb. I want to make sure I'm in the frame. And then I just scraped at it just like I showed you and got some very little end pieces. And that is how I evened it out. And then I, mess it up. I blend it back in. And that's how I made sure that the two sides were even. It's something that anybody can do. And so I really encourage you to get one of these razor combs. So anyway, that's my Tip Tuesday for you guys today. If you are struggling with not being able to blend any bio hair here, and occasionally you find that that line is just too stark and you think it's too obvious, then cut a few little baby hairs in like I just showed you. It'll create some wispies. It'll blur that line and it'll look like there's some hair like you normally would have on your bio hair. I hope this was helpful. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel and let me know if you'd like to see anything in particular so I can add it to my list. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.